I'm here at US Frame Factory's new manufacturing facility in Broussard, Louisiana. It's a 40,000 square foot building built with metal studs and a pre-engineered metal building. The metal studs help form up a lot of the walls and partitions that create the offices, whereas the metal building creates a lot of the manufacturing space. Today we're going to talk about a lot of the elements that make metal studs an integral part of creating commercial projects. Whether it's a roof or a wall system with windows and doors, you need metal studs to create the recognizable shapes of the building that you're planning to inhabit and finish out. Today we're going to talk about windows and doors, which are very important parts of construction. We're going to be talking about them particularly in a structural application. A window and a door are very similar structurally. The main difference is that a door typically doesn't have the window sill and the bottom cripples. In a lot of these applications, you'll see a window or a door and some sort of header that is supported by studs on the side that allows it to bear the load of a roof or some other system on top of it. Headers are very important for making this shape because you don't want that load to be coming through your door frame or your window. It will crush your window or it'll make your door unstable. The studs that support a window header are typically called jack and king studs. A jack stud is a stud that goes from the bottom plate and it supports the header, whether it's a bottom header or a top header. A king stud is a stud that goes from the bottom plate all the way to the top plate, full height. There's two kinds of header systems that are typically used, a top header or a bottom header. Top headers typically sit in the top track. Bottom headers sit directly above the opening, whether it's a window or a door. The advantage of a top header is that you can always come back and change the height of that opening if you need, say, a taller window or door. One very important part of headers is having clips and the correct assembly. Refer to a structural engineer or structural plans to understand what your head up and king and jack stud makeup should look like. Whenever you are building a header, you'll see a lot of various kinds of clips and angles that are used to properly connect that header to the surrounding jack and king studs. Headers in the cold form steel world are typically made out of an assembly called a box beam. A box beam will have very specific member sizes that are designated by engineers to support the load that's going to be above them. Box beams are typically made with 2 studs and 2 tracks in a way that can also hold the cripples either above or below it. It's very important that the load is transferred around the opening and not into the object in the opening, or possibly causing catastrophic failure if the opening isn't assembled correctly. The studs above a window and below the window are known as the top cripples and the bottom cripples. The cripples sit above and below the window and allow for drywall to be hung and the space to be finished properly. Once you've mastered doors and windows, you know a lot about structural framing. There's a few other key elements such as shear walls with X bracing that make a big difference, but in general, windows, doors, and straight walls form up a lot of the walls in commercial metal stud framing. For more resources about framing openings and engineering assistance, contact us at our website at usframefactory.com and we'll show you the best techniques and methods for designing efficient and sturdy openings.